The drums began before sunrise. They came from the old square of Kandala village, deep where the red earth met the wide savanna and the tall baobab trees watched like silent elders. The drums were slow and heavy, beating like a restless heart. Women woke early. Men tied their cloths. Children ran barefoot, laughing, chasing dust. It was Mama Safu's birthday. She was a black woman with strong arms and tired eyes. Her back carried years of farming, cooking, giving, and forgiving. She had raised her daughter alone after the spirits took her husband during a long drought many seasons ago. Since then, Mama Safu had lived for one thing only, her child. Her daughter's name was Naya. Mama Safu had saved for many moons to make this birthday special. She sold baskets in the market. She carried firewood from the forest. She even sold her late husband's old hunting bracelet, though it broke her heart to let it go. This birthday must shine, she told herself. My daughter must feel honored. The village had not seen such a feast in years. Goat meat roasted over open fire. Palm wine flowed like a river. Drums spoke to the spirits. Dancers painted in white ash moved like shadows under firelight. The elders smiled. Even the wind seemed gentle that day. Mama Safu wore a faded blue wrapper. She stood near the cooking pots, serving food, smiling, bowing her head to guests. Sweat ran down her face, but she did not rest. Her heart was full. Naya arrived late. She came with noise, laughter, and pride. Beads shone on her neck. Her wrapper was new. Her steps were heavy with confidence. Young men followed her with their eyes. Young women whispered. Mama Safu turned when she heard her daughter's voice. Naya, she said softly, you have come. Naya looked around at the feast, the people, the food. Of course I came, Naya replied. Everyone is here. Mama Safu smiled. I made all this for you. Naya did not answer. She waved her hand and sat with her friends. As the sun climbed high, the elders asked Mama Safu to sit. It was time for words. An old elder named Baba Kondo, whose beard touched his chest, lifted his staff. This woman, he said, pointing at Mama Safu, is a pillar. She worked alone. She suffered alone. Today, she honors her child. The people clapped. Some women nodded with respect. Mama Safu's eyes filled with tears. Then Naya stood up. The drums stopped. She looked at her mother, then at the crowd. Her face held no warmth. If you are done praising her, Naya said loudly, then someone should clean these plates. The crowd murmured. Mama Safu stood slowly. My daughter. Naya cut her off. You paid for this birthday, yes, Naya said. But now you should go do the dishes. Silence fell like a curse. The wind stopped moving. The fire cracked sharply. Even the children froze. Mama Safu felt the words hit her like stones. Go, do the dishes. Her hands trembled. Her mouth opened, but no sound came out. Naya turned away, laughing with her friends. Something old and unseen shifted in the air. Far beyond the village, deep in the forest where no child played, the ancestral spirit stirred. The river changed its song. An owl cried though it was day. Mama Safu bent down and picked up a dirty plate. No one stopped her. She carried plate after plate to the river behind the village. The water was dark and slow. As she washed, tears fell into the river. Her lips moved, but she did not speak loudly. She whispered to the water. I carried her in my womb. I broke my back for her. Spirits of my ancestors, did I fail? The river answered with a cold ripple. Behind her, unseen, an old woman appeared. Her skin was dark like night. Her eyes glowed like embers. She leaned on a crooked stick. You did not fail, the woman said. Mama Safu turned, shocked. Who are you? I am Mawina, the woman replied. I walk between worlds. I hear the cries mothers hide. Mama Safu bowed her head. My heart is broken. Mawina looked toward the village. Pride blinds the young. But spirits do not sleep. Before Mama Safu could speak again, the woman vanished like smoke. That night, Mama Safu returned home quietly. The drum still played, but their sound felt far away. Naya did not come home until late. She did not greet her mother. Mama Safu lay on her mat, staring at the roof. The fire had died. The night insects sang loudly. 2 days passed. On the second night, the sky turned red before sunset. Dogs howled. Chickens refused to sleep. The elders felt uneasy. And Naya screamed in her sleep. From the darkness, a voice whispered her name. The spirits had begun to answer. Naya woke up screaming. Her body was wet with sweat. Her chest rose and fell fast, like she had been running from death. The hut was dark, but she felt eyes watching her. Nonsense, she whispered to herself. Just a dream. But the dream stayed. She had seen her mother standing by the river, washing plates that never ended. The water turned black. Hands came out of it, pulling, calling. And above them all stood an old woman with fire in her eyes. Naya shook her head and sat up. Outside, the village was silent. No drums. No laughter. Only the sound of wind moving through dry grass. The next morning, Naya stepped outside with pride as usual, but something was wrong. People did not greet her. Women who once smiled now turned away. Children stopped playing when she passed. Even the dogs growled softly at her feet. At the market, Naya tried to laugh with her friends. "Why do you all look at me like that?" she asked. No one answered. An old woman selling cola nuts spat on the ground. A child who shames her mother invites the anger of the earth. Naya felt a sharp pain in her chest. She returned home angry. Mama Safu was grinding grain quietly. Her face looked thinner. Her eyes were calm, but far away, like she was listening to something Naya could not hear. "Why are people acting strange?" Naya demanded. Mama Safu did not look up. The village feels what the spirits feel. Naya laughed loudly. "Spirits. Mother, you are old. People talk too much." Mama Safu stopped grinding. She looked at her daughter slowly. "Words are seeds. Some grow into blessings. Some grow into curses." Naya rolled her eyes and walked away. That night, the dreams returned. This time, Naya was standing alone in the savannah. The grass was dry and sharp. The sky was low and heavy. She called for her friends, but no one answered. Then she heard dishes breaking. She followed the sound to the river. Mama Safu stood there again, washing plates. Blood ran from her hands. The plates were heavy like stones. "Mama!" Naya shouted. Her mother did not turn. The old woman, Mawina, appeared beside the river. Her voice was like dry leaves. "Pride eats its own child," she said. Naya tried to run, but her feet sank into the mud. She woke up crying. By the third day, strange things began to happen. The goat Naya loved most refused to eat. Her mirror cracked without being touched. Her beads broke and fell apart on the ground. At night, she heard footsteps around the hut, slow and careful, but when she opened the door, no one was there. Mama Safu noticed everything. She spoke little. She prayed quietly to the ancestors. She poured libation at dawn and dusk. One evening, Baba Kondo came to visit. He sat on a low stool and leaned on his staff. "This house is heavy," he said. "The spirits are restless." Mama Safu bowed her head. "I feel it too." Baba Kondo looked at Naya. "Child, words spoken under firelight travel fast to the spirit world." Naya folded her arms. "Are you all blaming me now?" Baba Kondo sighed. "Blame is not the question. Respect is." That night, the wind rose suddenly. Fire sparks danced wildly. The river overflowed its bank for the first time in years. From the forest came a deep drumbeat. Boom, boom, boom. But no human hands touched drums. The villagers gathered in fear. "This is ancestral warning," someone whispered. Mama Safu felt cold run through her bones. She knew Mawina had spoken truth. Naya tried to sleep, but the air pressed on her chest. Her eyes closed, and she fell into another vision. She stood before a great mountain. Faces were carved into its stone, men, women, elders, mothers. All of them stared at her. A voice thundered from the rock. Who fed you when your mouth was weak? Naya tried to speak but could not. Who carried you when your legs failed? Tears ran down her face. She saw her mother kneeling, washing dishes made of bone. Who did you shame? The mountain cracked. Naya screamed and woke up. She ran to her mother's mat and fell to her knees. Mama, she cried. Something is wrong. Please help me. Mama Safu held her daughter gently. The spirits are teaching, she said softly. But teaching can turn into punishment if pride stays. What must I do? Naya asked, shaking. Mama Safu closed her eyes. Tomorrow, we go to the river. Before dawn, a shadow watched their hut from the trees. Mawina smiled. The turning had begun. Before the first rooster crowed, Mama Safu rose. She wrapped her cloth tightly and tied her hair back. The air was cold, and mist covered the ground like breath from the spirit world. She placed a small calabash on the floor and filled it with water and kola nuts. Naya watched silently. Her pride was gone. Fear sat on her shoulders like a heavy load. The dreams had drained her strength. Her eyes were red. Her steps were slow. Where are we going? She asked. To the river, Mama Safu replied. Where words were swallowed. They left the village as the sky slowly turned grey. No one followed them, but many eyes watched from behind doors. The path to the river cut through tall grass and old trees. Birds were quiet. Even the insects held their breath. When they reached the river bank, the water looked darker than usual. It moved slowly, like it was thinking. Mama Safu knelt. She poured a little water on the ground and spoke softly. Ancestors of my blood, hear me. I come with an open heart. Naya felt her knees weaken. The river stirred. A wind rose suddenly, circling them. Leaves danced in the air. From the mist, Mawina appeared. Her feet did not touch the ground. You have come, Mawina said. Naya gasped and fell to her knees. Mama Safu bowed deeply. Great One, my child has been troubled. Mawina looked at Naya. Her eyes burned, but not with anger, with truth. Child, she said, do you know why the river remembers? Naya shook her head, tears falling. Because mothers wash their pain here, Mawina continued. And pain is never forgotten. The river began to glow faintly. Suddenly, images formed on the water's surface. Naya saw her childhood. She saw Mama Safu carrying her on her back under the hot sun. She saw her mother working at night by firelight. She saw her mother crying silently when food was not enough. Naya covered her mouth. I did not know, she whispered. Mawina's voice became heavy. You knew. But pride closed your eyes. The images changed. The birthday feast appeared. The laughter. The food. And then her own voice rang out loud and cruel. Go do the dishes. The river roared. Naya screamed. I am sorry. The water rose higher. Mawina lifted her stick. Sorry is a seed. Action is the rain. Suddenly, the river pulled Naya forward. Mama, she cried. Mama Safu grabbed her, holding her tight. Let her learn, Mawina said. The river became calm again. Mawina pointed toward the forest. Go to the mountain of faces. Carry what you have broken. Only there can the truth be faced. Mama Safu's heart pounded. It is a dangerous place. Respect is born from danger, Mawina replied. With that, she vanished. The wind died. The river returned to its quiet flow. Naya lay shaking on the ground. Mama, she sobbed, I was blind. Mama Safu held her face. The spirits still listen. But the path will be hard. They returned to the village in silence. The elders were waiting. Baba Kondo spoke. The mountain of faces has called. Few return unchanged. Naya stepped forward. I will go. The village gasped. Mama Safu felt fear tear at her heart, but she nodded. I will go with her, she said. At sunrise the next day, they began the journey. They crossed dry savanna where the sun burned like fire. They passed forests where shadows whispered. At night, they slept under stars that felt too close. On the third night, Naya dreamed again. She stood before the mountain. The stone faces moved. They spoke with her mother's voice. "Carry the weight you placed on her." She woke crying. On the fourth day, they reached the mountain. It stood tall and wide, its face covered with carved ancestors. Their eyes followed every step. The air was heavy. Mama Safu whispered a prayer. Naya stepped forward, holding a basket filled with dirty dishes from the birthday feast. Her arms shook. She placed the basket at the foot of the mountain. "I am ready," she said. The mountain rumbled. The ancestors had heard. The ground trembled beneath Naya's feet. Small stones rolled down the face of the mountain. Dust filled the air, thick and bitter. The carved faces on the mountain seemed to breathe, their stone lips parting as if to speak. Mama Safu stood behind her daughter, her heart pounding like a drum of war. "Naya," she whispered, "do not lie to the ancestors." Naya nodded, her hands shaking. A deep voice came from the mountain. It was not one voice, but many, layered together, men, women, elders, mothers. "Child of our blood," the voices said, "lift what you have brought." Naya bent down and lifted the basket of dirty dishes. At once, the basket grew heavy, far heavier than before. Her arms screamed with pain. Her knees buckled. "These dishes carry more than dirt," the voices said. "They carry shame." Naya cried out, but she did not drop them. Step by step, she was forced to climb. The stone steps burned her bare feet. Each step echoed with memories. She saw herself ignoring her mother's tired face. She saw herself laughing while Mama Safu worked. She saw the moment she spoke cruel words before the whole village. With each memory, the basket grew heavier. Mama Safu followed slowly, tears rolling down her cheeks. "Spirits," she prayed, "do not break my child." Suddenly, the sky darkened. A strong wind howled around the mountain. The faces on the stone twisted, their eyes glowing white. "Stop!" Naya cried. "I cannot carry this alone." The wind froze. From the shadows between the stone faces, Mawina stepped forward again. "You never carried it alone," Mawina said. "You placed it on your mother." The words struck Naya harder than the weight. She fell to her knees, the basket crashing beside her. Dishes broke. Sharp pieces cut her hands. Blood stained the stone. "I see it now." Naya screamed. "I was cruel. I was blind. I was proud." The mountain shook violently. Mama Safu rushed forward and held her daughter. "Enough," Mama Safu cried to the ancestors. "I have suffered, but I still love." The wind slowed. The voices returned, softer now. "Love is powerful," they said. "But love without respect becomes pain." Mawina turned to Mama Safu. "Mother, your silence fed her pride." Mama Safu lowered her head. "I was afraid to correct her." "Fear also teaches the wrong lesson," Mawina said. Naya listened, trembling. The ancestors spoke again. "Child, you must choose. Will you rise with humility, or will you fall with pride?" Naya pressed her forehead to the stone ground. "Teach me humility." The mountain grew quiet. A crack opened in the stone. From it flowed clear water, washing the blood from Naya's hands. The broken dishes lifted by unseen force and repaired themselves. But they did not return to the basket. Instead, they turned into heavy stones. "These stones," the voices said, "are your burden." Mawina pointed up the mountain. "Carry them to the top. Alone." Mama Safu reached for Naya. "I will help." Mawina shook her head. "This path is hers." Naya took one stone, then another. Each one felt like carrying a life. She climbed slowly. Her muscles burned. Her breath came in painful gasps. Halfway up, she fell. Her body slid backward, scraping against stone. She screamed, but no one came. Mama Safu cried out, helpless. Naya lay still, her body shaking. She wanted to give up. The mountain felt endless. The sky felt heavy. Then she remembered her mother's hands, cracked, bleeding, still working. She stood again. With tears blurring her vision, she climbed. When she reached the top, The wind stopped. The sky cleared. She placed the stones down and collapsed. The ancestors' voices spoke one last time. Pain opens the door, but change must walk through it. The mountain went silent. Mawina faded into mist. Mama Safu climbed to the top and held her daughter. Naya whispered, "I am no longer the same." Below them, the village drums began to beat again. But the greatest test had not yet come. The drums from the village grew louder as night fell. From the top of the mountain of faces, Mama Safu and Naya could see small fires glowing far below, like watching stars fall to the earth. The wind carried voices, fearful, confused voices. Something was wrong. The ancestors had tested Naya, but the land itself was now restless. Suddenly, the ground beneath them shook again, stronger than before. A deep crack split the mountain path. Mama Safu grabbed Naya's arm. "The spirits are not finished." Before they could move, the sky flashed red. Thunder rolled, not from clouds, but from the earth itself. From the forest below, a dark shape rose. It was tall, made of smoke and shadow, with burning eyes like hot coals. Its voice sounded like many angry whispers mixed together. "I am Kuru, the spirit of neglected blood," it growled. "I feed on broken respect." Naya felt her strength leave her body. Mama Safu stood in front of her daughter, shaking but firm. "She has learned," she said. "Take no more from her." Kuru laughed. "Learning does not erase pain." The shadow moved fast, rushing down the mountain toward the village. Naya screamed, "Mama! The village!" They ran. Down the mountain, over sharp rocks, through darkness, they ran until their legs burned. By the time they reached Kandala village, chaos had taken hold. Fires burned out of control. Goats ran loose. Children cried. The river overflowed its banks, flooding huts. The elders stood in a circle, chanting, but fear broke their rhythm. Baba Kondo raised his staff. "This is the spirit of unpaid debt." Kuru stood in the center of the village, feeding on fear. "Where is the ungrateful child?" it roared. Naya stepped forward. The villagers gasped. Mama Safu tried to pull her back, but Naya shook her head. "This is my doing," Naya said. "I will not hide behind my mother again." She walked into the firelight. Kuru turned its burning eyes on her. "You insulted the womb that carried you." "Yes," Naya said, her voice shaking but clear. "I did." The spirit moved closer. The heat was unbearable. "What will you give in return?" Kuru demanded. Naya looked at her mother. Mama Safu's eyes were full of fear and love. Naya dropped to her knees. "I give my pride," she said. "I give my comfort. I give my voice to honor my mother, not shame her." The fire around them flared high. Kuru laughed again. "Words are easy." Naya reached into the fire. The villagers screamed. She pulled out a burning coal and pressed it to her chest. The smell of burned cloth filled the air. "I carry this mark," Naya cried, "as reminder of who I was." Mama Safu screamed her name. The ancestors' drums thundered from the earth. Boom, boom, boom. The fire froze. From the flames stepped Mawina, brighter now, her body glowing like dawn. "It is enough," Mawina said. She faced Kuru. "The child has paid with truth and pain." Kuru shrieked, its shadow twisting wildly. "Respect must be protected." "And it has been restored," Mawina replied. She struck the ground with her stick. The earth opened and swallowed Kuru whole. Silence fell. The fires died down. The river slowly returned to its path. The village stood still, stunned. Naya collapsed. Mama Safu caught her and held her tightly, rocking her like a baby. "My child," she cried. "My child." The elders bowed. Baba Kondo spoke softly. "The ancestors have accepted her offering." Naya opened her eyes weakly. "Mama," she whispered, "forgive me." Mama Safu kissed her forehead. "Forgiveness is already given. Change is what remains." The mark on Naya's chest glowed faintly, then faded into a scar shaped like a small bowl, empty, waiting to be filled with humility. The village rebuilt through the night. But the true ending was yet to come. Because dawn brings truth no fire can hide. Dawn came quietly to Kandala village. No drums sounded. No one sang. A pale light spread over the savannah, touching burned huts, broken fences, and tired faces. Smoke still rose in thin lines, carrying the smell of ash and truth. Naya lay on a mat in her mother's hut. Her body was weak, but her eyes were open. The scar on her chest rested like a silent witness. Each breath reminded her of what pride had nearly destroyed. Mama Safu sat beside her, fanning her gently. "You should rest," Mama Safu said. "I rested all my life while you worked," Naya replied softly. "Now let me stay awake." Outside, the elders gathered. Baba Kondo's voice carried through the morning air. "The ancestors have spoken," he said. "Balance must be restored." The villagers nodded. That morning, Naya did something no one expected. She rose from her mat and stepped outside. The sun revealed her scar. People gasped. She walked straight to the river. Mama Safu followed, fear and hope twisting together in her chest. At the riverbank, Naya knelt where her mother had once washed dishes in shame. She lifted her hands. "People of Kandala," she said, her voice clear though her body shook, "hear me." The village gathered. "I dishonored my mother before you all," Naya continued. "I allowed pride to eat my eyes. Today, I return what I broke." She picked up a calabash and began washing dishes, slowly, carefully. Not in silence. Not in shame. But in humility. One dish. Then another. Then another. Mama Safu's tears fell into the river. The water shimmered. From its surface rose Mawina one final time, her face calm. "This is how respect returns," Mawina said. "Not through fear, but through daily honor." Mawina turned to Mama Safu. "Mother, speak now." Mama Safu stepped forward, her voice trembling. "I loved my child too quietly," she said. "I will no longer hide wisdom behind silence." Mawina nodded. The river glowed once more, then stilled. Days passed. Naya changed. She woke before sunrise. She fetched water. She cooked. She sat with the elders to learn. She listened more than she spoke. When Mama Safu rested, Naya worked. When Mama Safu spoke, Naya bowed her head. The village watched in silence. One evening, the drums returned, but differently. Not wild. Not loud. Steady and respectful. Baba Kondo stood before the people. "Let this be known," he said. "Respect is not proven in one day. It is shown every day." Naya knelt before her mother in front of the whole village. "Mama," she said, "teach me how to be worthy of the womb that carried me." Mama Safu lifted her daughter. "Walk beside me," she replied. "That is enough." The scar on Naya's chest faded further, becoming almost invisible, but it never fully disappeared. It was not meant to. Years later, when Mama Safu's hair turned white, Naya became known as Naya of the gentle hands. She corrected her own children with love and firmness. She told them the story of the bowl on her chest. "This bowl," she would say, "is always empty. Respect is what you must put inside it." On nights when the moon was full, villagers swore they saw an old woman walking near the river, smiling. And the river flowed peacefully. The ancestors were at rest. Moral lesson. A mother's sacrifice is sacred. Pride that shames those who gave us life will awaken forces greater than us. Respect must be practiced daily, not spoken once. Honor your parents, for the ground you stand on remembers how you treat them.